Everybody joining a little survival. So I got kind of a product review today, along with a philosophy use video today for you guys surrounding a hatchet. And this particular one is a Snow and Neally, so stick around. All right, guys. So why I'm doing a philosophy use and or a product review video is basically it kills two birds with one stone here. I end up about this product that I find really amazing. I really believe, honestly, people should really take a look at this company. And two, I kind of knock out the whole people coming into bushcraft and survival and looking for good tools. So I'm giving my 2 cents, the whole recommendations to add to the chaos and voices of the masses. Now, with Snow and Neally technical belt axe is what they call it. I call it a hatchet because that's what it is, but whatever, right? It's a very fine product. It's made here in the United States, in the state of Maine. What little town, I can't remember, but either way, been making these axes, hatchets, wood mauls for quite some time now. You guys can go check out the company. I really recommend them. Now, I've had this particular hatchet of theirs for roughly 3.5 months-ish, something like that. So kind of tailor end towards winter, early spring. Still had some frozen wood out, whatnot. And tell you guys right now, this thing does wonders, and that's what I really, really love about it. It's not as good as my axe, obviously so, because this has a shorter handle and a lighter head. However, comparing the two here, and I'll get actually to the product in just a second. But first, let's talk about the sheath, okay? Before I jump off the trail here and go too far too fast. So the sheath itself, guys, is 100% leather. Not too thin, not too thick leather. It does come with one snap right here. The stitching itself is pretty good. Let's see if I can actually... There we go. The stitching itself is actually pretty good, along with the riveting. It's not terrible. Now, what I do have a complaint about with this sheath is the fact that the snap does not have great retention, per se. I mean, it does to a point, but if you catch it just right, it pops open. However, I'm not really too worried about it because this product weighs enough, and obviously gravity and the length of the handle is going to stop it from falling out, unless you're like rolling down a hill, falling out of a canoe, or like just sprinting through the forest like a madman for your life or whatever. There's that. But other than that, great sheath. Love leather sheaths, guys. I already treated it with beeswax. That way it's more water resistant than it was. Now, going on to the actual product itself here, okay? The head of the axe, we're going to start from the head, work down the handle, and I'm going to try to stand off to the side here a little bit so I can actually show you guys the skills and whatnot of the chopping, the splitting, feather and shaving. Along with that, I think I did some carving as in notches, so you guys can hopefully see that. Sorry if you get in the way, or I might just balloon over my whole self here. Itself is actually made out of 1080 high carbon steel. All those who watch my channel for quite some time understand why I like high carbon steel. Is you can sit there and find a hard rock, such as chert, quartz, flint, something like that, around that category. Sit there and you can actually sit there and start flaking that rock off, say your high carbon steel tool, implement, whatever it's going to be. Hopefully getting some kind of little itty bitty tinder source ready to catch a spark, turn it into ember, take the ember, put it in a bird's nest per se, and blow it into flames, and then you got a fire. That's why I like high carbon steel. I understand the drawback is it is rust prone, and yes, even up here in the upper peninsula of Michigan, it does get humid out. So I have to be conscious about taking care of my tools, okay? I usually use olive oil for my tools. Just throw a thin layer on there, guys. Works wonders on them. Works well. And on top of that, I don't have to worry about poisoning myself. If I have to use this to process game, cut up food, whatever it's going to be, I can do it all with this. Now, that being said, okay, the dimensions of the actual head itself here is the pole, I believe, if all these are correct, which I know the blade one for sure, but the pole is 2.25 inches in height, somewhere around there. The length of the hatchet head is from the back of the pole here to the tip of the blade, is what I'm talking about, is 5.25. The cutting edge is 3.25. Now, I take that, and I like to know that because then I can walk up to a tree, per se, and say my forearm's a tree. If my hatchet head is a little bit smaller, as you guys can see, than say the tree, which is my arm, I'm comfortable. I can sit there and measure, okay, yeah, you know, I can take this tree with my hatchet. Or if it's like, say, that thick from the tip here to here where my hand is, I know, okay, it's a little bit much of a job for my hatchet. I'm going to spend more time, more energy, more effort than necessary to cut down this tree. Do I particularly need this tree? That's kind of why I use it, or I like to tell people how to measure, I guess, really your job with a cutting implement such as a hatchet. You know, is it too much or too little? Can your hatchet probably handle it? Yes or no? The blade width, guys, that's kind of how I go with it. So there's that. Now, the weight of the head is actually something that I really like because it's in between for me. It's not cumbersome to carry, as in it's not too heavy, but it's not too light either. Now, the actual head itself weighs 1.25 pounds, so 1.25 pounds. What that is in kilograms, I'll probably throw up over here, one or two. And that's kind of the whole configuration of the head, guys. Not much to it. Now, what I do appreciate is the two conical wedges here and the hardwood wedge inside of here, guys, inside the eye. I like conical wedges, guys, because flat wedges only push out in 180-degree direction. Conical wedges, as you guys guessed, push out in 360 degrees. And two of them, this head's not coming off anytime soon, as long as you don't abuse it and just leave it to neglect. Now, that being said, too, real quick, I forgot to mention this, guys. Hopefully the camera will focus on this for you. Hopefully so. For those who can see it, you guys know you're looking at more of a convex grind on this hatchet blade opposed to, say, a scanning grind. So that means that this hatchet, hopefully you guys can see over here in the skill video as well, is not really meant for carving, okay? It's not a carving hatchet. If you want something like that, I would go with a scanning grind. That squirrel wants to die. My thing is this, you want a scanning grind, go with, like, say, Granfors and Brooks, okay? This is more for frozen wood, dense wood, splitting and chopping and cutting. This is what this hatchet is designed to do. Now, moving on here, okay, because talking about hardwood and whatnot being hard to cut, we have American hickory as the handle choice here. As you can see, pretty straight grained, very little runoff until the end here, but that's perfectly normal with wood handles. Really like them. Now, I like wood handles better than metal, because if metal breaks, you're kind of screwed. Can't really repair them in the field very easily at all, unless you have like JB Weld or whatever, and the conditions are just right. I don't like composite handles, mostly for the fact that, is it seldom they break? Yes. Just like metal handles and even wood handles, yes, they do seldom break. But when they do, it's kind of hard to replace a composite handle, because my understanding is most of those hatchets and axes don't have anything wedge-wise or, say, even conical wedges in here. It doesn't have those up top, meaning that it's just adhesive keeping that in place. When that adhesive is gone, unless you have some more in your backpack or whatever or on your person, you can't really keep the head on there secure. I'm sure you can always, like, rigmarole it with a paracord or jute twine or bank line or whatever. You can melt it, whatever. 1,001 ways to actually fix it. But to correctly fix it, it's hard to do in the wilderness, unlike having a wooden handle where I can actually sit there and carve another handle out of here. Now, on the website, it does boast a 15-inch handle. Again, that's not necessarily true. I mean, it is, because from here to here is 15 inches, but 3 inches inside the eye here. That leaves you with a comfortable real estate of 12 inches to work with. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches of handle here. So, yeah, pretty generous. You can choke up on it, obviously. You can actually use the thumb grip if you want to, sit there and do kind of carving like notches or whatever it's going to be. Or you can actually sit there and have two hands here and swhack into, say, a frozen oak tree. That's going to take you forever. Or even a cherry tree that may have some rot to it, thus, you know, winter hits, freeze-thaw conditions. Now you have some ice inside the actual wood itself. It's hard to cut down. Or perhaps trying to chop a hole into some actual ice in a frozen lake to get water from. Either or, guys, you can actually use this handle with two hands or one. So that's kind of nice. Now, that's kind of really it for the product review. Let's talk about philosophy of use. Why I choose to carry a hatchet instead of my axe everywhere I go. Because I can carry this inside my backpack, right? And it's actually concealed inside my backpack. My axe, not so much. The handle actually sticks out by roughly, I think it was 6 or 7 inches out. So it kind of looks a little conspicuous, you know, a little suspicious, a little sus. This, though, fits nice and snug in there for all the gray men and women out there that just want to be like, you know, I got nothing, leave me alone inside my backpack. Because, of course, they're going to steal your backpack, guys. Gray man theory is kind of stupid, but whatever. Point being, though, is you can conceal this if you wanted to. Even if you carry it on your person, again, always research your local, state, and federal laws, guys, because I don't want to be in trouble because of me or anything like that. But figure that out and see what you can get away with carrying and whatnot, either open or concealed, whatever it's going to be. But you can carry this on your belt, guys, all day long. It's light enough where it doesn't actually seem to be a problem. I've done it on multiple trips out here and carried it for multiple hours on end. And, yeah, not a big deal. So, anyways, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Stay frosty, prep up. God bless.